Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to basically explain to some of you guys some of the issues that I've been having with the Google Pixel 1 and still how I feel about the device, even though it has a hardware defect that prevents me from using it as a daily driver. So to kind of give you guys a backstory, and no, I'm not saying that Swappa is a bad website. If you're looking to get a smartphone without, spending an arm and a leg to get one, Swappa is definitely a place you do want to check out. It is a bit safer than eBay, but no website is perfect in making sure a transaction is 100% great. And the reason why I say that is because my brother, like I said, I got this from my brother. He actually ordered two Pixel 1s from Swappa.com. He got both devices were 128 variants. The problem was, and shame on the seller, because they had to have known that this device had the hardware defect that Google One's experienced. And what I mean is the microphone. There's an issue with Pixel 1s, and not all of them were affected by it, but there were a batch of Pixel 1s that the soldering of the microphone to the PCB board had a crack in it, which initially, when the phone heated up, it exploited that defect to the soldering, and therefore the microphone and the noise canceling microphone were affected. So when you made phone calls, these microphones would not activate, and your calls would then end up, like in this weird looking state. Like when you hit dial, you would see like the call screen come up, but no contact information, no dialer options, and no runtime. But yet the call did go through because the recipient would still, their phone would ring, they would answer, they would hear absolutely nothing because there's no sound to pick up because the microphones aren't working. And so that's what this device is experiencing. It's, any phone calls that I make, it does not work whatsoever. So what I did was I put my data-only SIM card in here because obviously I'm only going to be using this on data. And everything else seems to work pretty much just fine. So yeah. Just kind of letting you guys know, if you're going to shop a Pixel 1, I would say go through OfferUp, meet up with the person who has the phone, check out the phone, put your SIM card in, make a couple of test calls to make sure that the phone calls are going to work, record a video, and you'll be golden. Now, the reason I say don't use the camera to test to see if it's a hardware defect is because there is a second issue with the Pixel 1, and that has to do with Google Assistant. The workaround for that, if you're experiencing that with your Pixel 1, the workaround for that one is turning off Google Assistant, just completely turning it off. You'll know if you're having that issue when you use the camera and you take a video and then that error pops up that says that audio is not going to be recorded because the microphone is in use. That would be Google Assistant affecting the microphone from recording if you were recording a video. Nonetheless, I can use this phone as a camera to get some B footage, basically footage where I don't need the audio out of it, which this will definitely come in handy for. But for a device such as the Pixel 1, and as it's went through multiple OS updates, it's still pretty fast. I have no issues at all whatsoever, and that is, to me, pretty surprising because a device such as this and how old it is usually tends to show its age, especially with multiple OS updates. Like, you definitely can say that when an OS update comes in, it usually breaks a certain thing or makes a certain thing run sluggish or slow. And I haven't experienced that at all whatsoever with the Pixel 1. In my last review, I stated to people that if you were to ask, would I recommend the Pixel 1 if you were looking to get a Pixel device but not spending so much money on one? I still say yes. Just be careful where you shop for a Pixel 1, whether it's the 1 or the 1 XL. And if you are going to go with a used device, test it to make sure that the device is true. Go with the OfferUp and meet up with the person who's selling it. And if that person doesn't allow you to test the phone out before you actually pay them the cash for the phone, like if they don't let you put your SIM card in and dial out a couple of test calls and check the cameras and whatnot, then obviously this is not going to be a good transaction because, in my opinion, the only time someone would act like that towards you is if they have something to hide about the device. Unless they're upfront with you and they say, hey, look, I'm selling this device for $120. It does have the microphone issue, so you probably won't be able to make phone calls unless you get it repaired yourself. And yes, I mean, if you're still gonna buy it with that defect and you're gonna want Google to try and repair it, make sure from the original owner you get the a copy of a sales receipt or something, because Google is going to ask for that if you're going to try to run it through their warranty program. They will need the purchase receipt, the data purchase, and of course the IMEI, and they'll check to see through their warranty. Now you could get this repaired at You Break I Fix, but the problem with that is that they're going to want to replace the entire motherboard. And to do a motherboard swap, if you swap the motherboard and you choose to downgrade your storage and go with 32 gigabytes, it's going to cost you $349. If you choose to remain with the 128 gig, it's going to cost you $389, which to me is pointless for me to pay that money to get this fixed, knowing my brother only paid $170 something for this phone. It's not worth paying double what he paid to own it just to get it fixed. So I use it for everyday tasks. I use it for social media. I use it for listening to music. I use it for YouTube. And yeah, and taking photos and whatnot for Instagram or whatever. So, I mean, it still handles all those things fairly well. It still functions properly. A lot of the glitching has stopped because I had removed all permissions from every application that would access the microphone. I had shut all those permissions off. So it's not trying to use the microphone for anything. I still have the live case on it, and I'm actually thinking about getting a skin to skin the entire phone, just because, you know, of all the wear and tear that the original owner had put on it. Obviously that wear and tear was done by a case, probably them from like taking it in and out the case. Maybe they were trying to fix it for so long and just finally gave up. But yeah, you know, the best part about it too, you know, while we're talking about it, with the OS and everything like that, is that Google decided to expand its life expectancy and give it Android Q. So Q beta, there is a Q beta for this, and obviously that means that there will be a Android Q update for this when Q comes out. So good on Google to expand its life. I really appreciate that. And I definitely am looking forward to it. Will they get Android R? I seriously doubt it from that point. I mean, Google's already expanded its life by another year. So that tells me that, you know, that I don't think they're going to be thinking of making this go into Android R. So, but nonetheless, still big thumbs up to Google for giving it one more year of support, which means that security patches and all that will be given to this device as well. Great device, really. If you're using it for a secondary device, or even if you're going to make it your daily driver, it would still be a great device. That you could pick up and have stock Android experience along with Android support. And yeah, I still till today will recommend anyone, if you're looking to pick one up. You know, just don't spend over $200 for one is what I'm going to say. I don't think this device would warrant anything higher than a $200 price tag. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, some of the issues with that I've been experiencing with it. I really like this phone, and it kills me that the microphone's not working, because I would love to be able to use this as my daily driver, but unfortunately I can't. And I'm not willing to pay a lot of money to keep the storage that it already has of 128 and have it repaired. So maybe I'll repair it myself when I can get all the tools I need to take this phone apart and repair it myself. But I'm kind of scared to do that, because, you know, if it goes on the fritz because of a mistake I made, then it's one and done. So yeah, that's pretty much just my thoughts on the Pixel 1. Again, I know another video about it, but definitely something I would say, you know, if you are interested in, you can pick one up. So if you guys enjoyed today's video, let me know. Drop a like to let me know just by hitting that thumbs up button. If you just saw my channel, subscribe, and hit the bell option and choose all instead of occasional, and that way you'll get all notifications when I upload. That's it. This is the Pixel 1 on Aloha Android. You guys have a great day. Aloha.